Hey, don't scroll. This is for you. If you're a NEET 2026 aspirant and class 11 and class 12 buddies, this video is just for you. To make the photosynthesis chapter so easy and simplified in order to score very good marks in this important chapter. So I have splitted so many concepts in a very simple way in that this video is going to contribute the quick recap line to line explanation on non-cyclic ETS. By end of this video you feel so confident with zero regrets. Let us begin the non-cyclic ETS. So you know very well the light reaction constitute two types of electron transport system. One is cyclic ETS, another one is non-cyclic ETS. Here today we are going to discuss about the non-cyclic ETS. Yes, so in this non-cyclic ETS, the very important first point is both the photosystems are going to be involved in non-cyclic ETS. Both the photosystems are going to be involved. And point number 2. So I told you very clearly when I'm just taking this thylakoid stakings, so called as a granum, singular and plural is grana, you're going to see two regions are present. So can you see these two regions are considered to be as non-appressed, isn't it? So these regions, the outer layer of the thylakoid membranes, are considered to be as non-appressed regions. The non-appressed regions are going to constitute only the PS1, which means the photosystem 2 is going to be absent. So now let me just tell you these regions, today I'm marking here in between the regions. Yes, let me just call these regions as appressed regions. In these appressed regions, there is presence of both photosystem 1 and photosystem 2. Let me just say here the non-cyclic ETS is going to take place in dash. What is your answer? Please tell me. You require photosystem 2 in order to perform the non-cyclic ETS. The non-cyclic ETS, so right, which requires the photosystem 2 is going to be present in the appressed region. Hence just say the site for the non-cyclic ETS is appressed or non-appressed region. Please tell me. Appressed region, isn't it? Another point, this is for you, and let me just say by the end of the non-cyclic ETS you're going to see the synthesis of NADPH. Yes, I'll explain you. Another one is ATP is synthesized, right? Another one is on water splitting, oxygen is going to be released. What are the three things which are going to be synthesized during the non-cyclic ETS? Don't forget this point. So the one very important thing here is NADPH, ATP and oxygen is evolved, right? I'll make sure you will do in a very better way. This NADPH and ATP both are going to be generated, both the things are going to be synthesized in the matrix. Yes, so this oxygen which is released or evolved during the water splitting is going to be released in the thylakoid lumen. So please don't forget. Ma'am, what do you mean by thylakoid lumen means? Think of this as the thylakoid membrane, and this one I'm just going to call this one as thylakoid lumen. So oxygen is evolved in the thylakoid lumen and NADPH and ATP are synthesized in the matrix. The matrix is otherwise called as stroma. I hope you are understanding what we were discussing. Another one, let us say you need to understand now in this non-cyclic ETS, as I have discussed, there is presence of both photosystem 2 and photosystem 1. Yes, so both photosystem 2 and photosystem 1 is going to be involved. If I'm just going to say again this one, let me just say This is non-appressed region which constitute the photosystem 1, and this is appressed region, so where another thylakoid membrane is there. So let's say this is photosystem 2. I'm just going to here incise the thylakoid membrane. So I'm just going to pull it out. So let's say this is a thylakoid membrane, right? And now here comes photosystem 2 and here comes photosystem 1. So both the photosystems are involved in non-cyclic ETS. I hope you are understanding this. Slowly let us just make sure you are learning this concept in a better way. Can you just see here? I have taken this one. Can you see here what I have written here? I have taken the thylakoid membrane. Yes, thylakoid membrane with both photosystem 2 and photosystem 1. In between the photosystem 2 and photosystem 1, I'll write this point. Between the photosystem 2 and photosystem 1, can you see here? Both the photosystems, there is presence of 3 electron carriers. 3 electron carriers are present. Yes. Can you count 1? Can you count this one? 2. And this is 3. So let me write the first electron carrier is plastoquinone. I'll write the point for you. The first one is plastoquinone. You know one thing, this is the one which is going to carry both the electrons and also the protons. Please don't forget this point. This is for you. So this is going to be involved in transferring the electrons and also the protons. Hence people in the NCERT are calling this plastoquinone as hydrogen carrier. So among the 3 electron carriers which is considered to be as hydrogen carrier, let's say the plastoquinone is considered to be as hydrogen carrier. And the second point here is for you, the second one. The second electron carrier is nothing but cytochrome BF. Yes, cytochrome BF complex is there where the iron is going to be a very important element. So that's why people will just call it as red carrier, because iron contains in this electron carrier. And the third one, the last electron acceptor or a carrier is nothing but plastocyanin. Often people will call this one as blue carrier, because who is going to take part in this? Which element is going to take part in this electron carrier? Copper. That's why people will call this one as blue carrier. I hope you are understanding. So among this 3 electron carriers, which one is considered to be as hydrogen carrier? Please tell me. Plastoquinone, right? This is a red carrier because it constitutes iron, and this is a blue carrier because it constitutes copper. So another one, to the PS2, can you see what is attached here? Can you see what is attached here? I'll just call this one as oxygen evolving complex, or let me just call this one as water splitting complex. Yes, water splitting complex. Can you please tell me OEC stands for what? OEC stands for oxygen evolving complex. The oxygen evolving complex, yes, is attached with PS2. It is not attached with the PS1, facing towards the lumen or matrix, facing towards the thylakoid lumen. Yes, this is facing towards the thylakoid lumen. Last but not least, can you see this OEC attached to the PS2 and another one which is attached to the PS1, where their positions are quite opposite? One is facing towards the lumen, the other one is facing towards the matrix. Can you see here? And let me just say this one as the electron carrier, and that electron carrier is nothing but ferredoxin. Ferredoxin is facing towards the matrix by attaching to the photosystem 1. I hope you understood this setup. where we need to understand the non-cyclic ETS in a very better way. And last but not least, to the ferredoxin, there is an enzymatic complex attached in the matrix. So right, and that enzymatic complex, I'm just going to call this one as NADP reductase. So I hope you understood this setup in a better way. So now I'm just going to teach you the line by line how the electron transportation is going to takes place in the non-cyclic ETS. Before that, I'm just going to explain a very important MCQ for you. Do you wanted to do this MCQ? Right? Please tell me, do you want to solve this MCQ? So please tell me, how many photosystems are there? Please tell me. It's not for me, this is only for you. Two types of photosystems are there. Can you please tell me what are the two types of photosystems are there? So please tell me. One is photosystem 2, the other one is photosystem 1, isn't it? The photosystem 2 becomes functional when it absorbs the 680 nanometers of wavelength, and photosystem 1 is going to excite, becomes functional by absorbing 700 nanometers of light, wavelength of light. So now, is this excitation going to take place in a different timings? Means no, two photosystems are going to excite. Yes, excitation takes place simultaneously. Excitation is going to take place simultaneously. This is a very important MCQ, because both the photosystems are going to excite simultaneously with the help of reaction center containing the chlorophyll A molecule. The reaction center constitute the chlorophyll A in both the photosystems, excite by absorbing 680, excite by absorbing 700 nanometer, and becomes strong oxidants. Yes, so after losing the electrons from ground state to excited state, both the chlorophyll A molecules acquires positive charge and becomes a strong oxidant. So please don't forget this MCQ. Now let us start the line by line understanding the non-cyclic ETS. As I have promised, there should be no regrets, isn't it? I'm just going to start now. So let us start here. Yes. So now let me just start here. I'm going to take the thylakoid membrane quickly. The thing should be very quickly. Let's say this is the thylakoid membrane. Yes. Okay, that is thylakoid membrane. And outside, I'm just going to make sure here is matrix or stroma. And here, inner to this, I'm just going to call this one as thylakoid lumen. But what about this? This is considered to be as thylakoid membrane. What is this? This is nothing but thylakoid membrane. I hope you're understanding. So let me just show you here. Now I'm going to take here the photosystem 2. Can you just see? I'm going to take here this one as photosystem 2 and this one as photosystem 1. Yes, this one I'm just going to take here as photosystem 1. As I have discussed with you, there are 3 electron carriers are there between this photosystem 2 and photosystem 1. One is plastoquinone, the other one is cytochrome BF complex, another one is plastocyanin, right? So you know very well about this. So the photosystem 2 is going to be attached with the oxygen evolving complex, but the photosystem 1 is attached with the ferredoxin, and the ferredoxin is also attached here with an enzymatic complex which involves in the reduction reaction. It's nothing but NADP reductase. What is this? NADP reductase. Can I just write everything for you? Right. So this is considered to be as what? Photosystem 2. Yes, this is photosystem 2. And let me just call this one as, what is this? photosystem 1. Please don't forget. And what about this one? What about this? This is nothing but oxygen evolving complex. Yes, what is this? Oxygen evolving complex. Let me write here. This is oxygen evolving complex, and this is ferredoxin. Ferredoxin. Now I'm just going to start in a very brief way. So let's say the very important first step what people usually study here is, oh, water splitting is going to be the first step. No dear, excitation is the first step. What is the first step? Excitation. Excitation of the photosystem 2 by absorbing 680 nanometer is going to be the first step of the non-cyclic ETS. Please don't say that water splitting is the first step. What is the first step? Please tell me. The first step which involves during the non-cyclic ETS is excitation. Who is going to excite? The chlorophyll A is going to excite and extrudes electron. Yes. And now on extrusion of electrons from ground state to excited state, the very first electron acceptor which comes to pick the electron is nothing but pheophytin. What is this? Pheophytin. So right. So on extrusion, the chlorophyll A is going to become a strong oxidant, and this strong oxidant is going to acquire the positive charge. Yes. Now on acquiring the positive charge, it going to involved in water splitting. Yes. What is the second step? The second step is water splitting. The first step is excitation. So I'm just going to show you the count. Please listen to the class very carefully. Just say, let me just show you here. On excitation, it becomes a strong oxidant, and now it is going to involve in splitting of, let me take my count as 2 water molecule. I'm just going to take 2 water molecules as a count. The 2 water molecules split and extrudes electrons, protons and oxygen. How many electrons? 4 electrons, 4 protons and 1 oxygen per 2 water molecules of oxidation. I hope you're understanding. So let me just show you here. So now the electron acceptor, the first electron acceptor of the photosystem 2 is pheophytin. Now on picking the electrons, the pheophytin will transfer this electron to the hydrogen carrier, which is nothing but plastoquinone. PQ is for plastoquinone. Assume that 1 electron is transferred here. Per 1 electron, the plastoquinone is going to pick 2 protons or 1 hydrogen. From where it is going to pick? From the matrix. So now 1 electron is going to pick the 2 protons from the matrix, and both were given to the cytochrome Bf, the second electron carrier here. Now this cytochrome Bf complex is going to accept only the electrons, and now it is going to reject the protons, which is pumping from matrix into the lumen. Yes. How many electrons? Per 1 electron it is going to pump how many protons? 2 protons. This count should be very perfect. For 1 electron transferring from PS2 to PS1, the hydrogen carrier is going to pump 2 protons from matrix into lumen. Here comes an excellent question. This is not a passive transportation. This is active transportation. Please consider this MCQ as very important. So it is an active transportation. Now the electrons were given to the last electron acceptor, which is a plastocyanin. Now the plastocyanin is going to transfer its electron to the photosystem 1. For this transferring, so what I have discussed with you, who should be excited? Please tell me, who should be excited? Even the photosystem 1 has to be excited simultaneously by absorbing the 700 nanometer. Now it's going to extrude the electrons from ground state to excited state, and this electron is going to be picked by the first electron acceptor of the PS1 is not pheophytin, but it is iron sulfur complex. So right now the plastocyanin is going to transfer the electron to the PS1 and it is picked by the FEs. Now it is going to given to the ferredoxin, which is out of the photosystem 1. Now you are having the 4 electrons here. Per each 2 electrons, listen carefully, per 2 electrons accepted by the NADP plus. Yes, NADP plus is gaining the electrons from whom? Ferredoxin. From where these electrons has taken? From the photosystem 2, who contributed by the oxygen evolving complex with the help of whom? Water. The ultimate electron donor is not PS2. The ultimate electron donor is nothing but water. So now per 2 electrons, NADP plus is going to pick another 2H plus from the matrix. Yes, so it is going to get the electrons from the ferredoxin. Yes, from the ferredoxin. And from the matrix, it is going to pick 2 protons. Both electrons and protons were gained in the presence of an enzyme called NADP reductase. Then it is going to be reduced to NADPH2 or NADPH plus. So for 4 electrons, so it is going to involved in synthesis of 2 NADPH plus H plus, because for 2 electrons it is going to synthesize NADPH. I have taken 2 water molecules as my count, which releases 4 electrons to generate 2 NADPH, right? So obviously the electrons were contributed by the OEC through water, and these electrons from PS2 to PS1 is utilized for the synthesis of NADPH2. It's not written back to the photosystem 2. Hence, I'm just calling this ETS as non-cyclic ETS. So I hope you understood the concept. If you like this concept more, if you feel that the concept is very simple, so don't forget to subscribe and support the mission. Yours, Sucharita.